Any questions on that before we go any further?
Yes, sir.
Video.
2 questions. Do you know about how long the road will last with that type of repair on it?
With the ones you was looking at was our slurry seal roads. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but back in the 90s, they went through and laid a lot of slurry down. Those roads are, unless we do something different, that pothole may stay there 6 months, it may stay there a year. If we're able to square them off like they're talking about, we can do 2, 3, 4 years on them. Really easy if we're doing it right. The next step is I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the issues that you were seeing with the real thin asphalt and those kind of things.
Also, my other question is, maybe it's for Jerald. The cost of another truck like that, do you have any idea what it might cost us?
Commissioner, I don't recall what that truck cost, but I'm guessing that, do you know, Everett?
Yeah, it was right at 2.25, 225,000. And it's pretty equipped. It keeps track of what we're putting down, where we're putting it down at. We can pull a lot of data off of it. They're pretty, and they got cameras all around, takes pictures. It does all kinds of stuff for us.
So when the asphalt goes in, I know it says flameless, but is it heated? Is it hot when it goes in, or is that just moist?
Yes, no, it's a heated machine that runs and keeps it warm at a certain temperature to be able to lay down. The throw and go wasn't really no joke. We really did that. And we buy the cold mix, brought it in, hauled it, put it on. Well, this is able now to keep it flexible, keep the temperature at the right temperatures, and it's easier for us to lay out.
Are you able to stay within that 7-day time frame or less?
We're actually, I think we're a little bit better than that. When she said 7 days, that's, the weather depending and what else is going on. But she's really good about getting that team out because it's out every day to respond on those kind of things. So yeah, 7 days is really pretty good.
What is your average?
So sorry. With the 7-day time frame, now that includes from the time that, so when the customer puts that ticket into C-Click Fix, it has to go through the system. Obviously, it gets assigned to me. When it's assigned to me, then I go ahead and assign my crew. But if I get that ticket on a Friday afternoon, obviously, I'm not going to have a team until Monday morning. My 7-day average right now, a lot of it is stemming from the holiday season where we would get them in, when we were off, and then we wouldn't be in for 2 days or 3 days because of the holiday season. But we are capable of doing a lot faster. It tends to be during the winter months that we tend to kind of fall a little behind with potholes because especially with the ice and the snow, it just seems like the weather just doesn't cooperate with us. They just show up more than we're able to keep up. But during the summer months, we've actually been filling potholes in less than 24 hours. So.
Would you say one of your one of the hurdles from being able to do as much as you or to be able to handle some of the things that you hear from the community is you all just can't know every pothole that's out there. So unless the community notifies you or use the C-Click Fix app, they're just running over that pothole over and over and over again. So
correct.
The more that they use that app and notify you, take a picture, show exactly where it is, the more likely it is it's going to get fixed in their neighborhood.
That's correct. And as the more accurate that they are at reporting those potholes, because sometimes they'll be at home and they'll be like, oh, I saw a pothole on, 10th and Garriott. And then you're like, well, it notifies you of the potholes at their house, not at the address that it's supposed to be at. So if you can safely pull over and report a pothole as soon as possible, the faster response that we're going to have for that pothole.
Actually, I really appreciate that you also build into that system feedback to the people reporting so that whether email or, however that happens, that they are notified, okay, got it. And we're taking it.
Yeah. And, sometimes we do close the pothole and they're like, hey, this wasn't fixed. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll go double check it. And it could have been mislocation. So I really like the fact that I can talk back to the community. And if they do have questions, they have the ability to ask them at that time as well.
We put a lot of effort into a community service or customer service focus. And I think that's a key element, just what you've been talking about here. I think that's great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
But that's a huge benefit. There's not many things that you can do, complaints that you can put in where you can track it all the way to completion. And if it isn't complete to your satisfaction, you still can have dialogue with the city to make sure it gets to where it needs to be. So
Yeah, I definitely think C-Click Fix has been a huge benefit for us. Before we would just get, and don't get me wrong, I don't only use C-Click Fix. I also get phone calls and emails daily from the residents that still don't know about C-Click Fix. But when they call me, I do the same thing. I go through Cartograph is another option that we have, and I put in a work order and it gets put in there right away. But C-Click Fix, it's a great tool, not only for myself to monitor my employees, but also Everett to monitor me to make sure that we are, doing what we're supposed to be doing. So I think it makes everybody more accountable.
I agree. Do you think if we say C-Click Fix enough, the paper will put it in the paper and more people know about it and we can use it more?
Maybe they'll sponsor us.
So Jerald, speaking of C-Click Fix, this wasn't Road, this wasn't you folks, but I ran into a problem with C-Click Fix just a month ago where I reported something for a friend in December and then didn't get picked up. It was tree limbs and didn't get picked up. And then my friend called in and he couldn't get it picked up. And finally it took, me as the city council person sending a nasty email to Jerald saying, what the hell, why haven't we got this done after a month and a half? Where is the breakdown there? And is that happening to other folks with C-Click Fix?
I don't know if it's happening to others. It's not a perfect system, Commissioner. I do know that I have asked David Hunter, and I know he'll be doing it, looking into, what are the issues there, because that goes along with customer service. So I do know the specific thing you were talking about. What you showed me is that a C-Click Fix been put in on 12/28. And so it did get fulfilled for various reasons. I don't know the answer to that yet, but we are working on that. But I do want to remind everybody that while we didn't get your friend's brush pile, we cleared the city in about 2.5 months. And I'm not making excuses for the one person. There's probably more than one person, but I don't want to lose sight of, we did a heck of a lot. And we've actually chipped all the brush out at 10th Street. And that's because of the effort of city employees. So I know we missed some. I don't know why, but we are going to figure that out so that we can get closer to 100%.
I really like the platform. I think that tool really is a great way for people to report stuff. I just want to make sure that we're not getting stuff dropped through the cracks, or rather when we do, because it will happen inevitably. It's an imperfect system. We are, we're all human, but that when it does drop through the cracks, I just want to make sure that we're following up and figuring out why, so we can fix that as we go.
Yeah, Commissioner Zell, I'd like to answer that a little bit too, because we ran across it also, and we're working with communications to get that fixed. What happened is when we go out and put all these activities inside Cartograph, they get directed to a certain department or a certain area. Well, when the storm come across, we had tree debris in there, but it was tied to Parks Department. So when it did that, we had to go in and figure out how to reroute it back to the area where it needed to be to get picked up with Mr. Hunter's area. So that's kind of what happened. We're working on it, I believe. So we'll get that all
Great.
straightened out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sounds great.